What are you doing to prepare yourself for the financial reset that is happening all across the globe right now? Right now, we just heard that Wells Fargo has just completely eliminated all personal lines of credit. If you don't understand what this means, this is just another signal of the financial collapse as it's happening. If you are ignorant to that, well, you need to wake up. It is happening. I mean, overnight, we just had major banks made a choice to say, hey, we're going to stop your credit lines from 3 to 300,000. We're going to shut these things down. And here's the thing. It's also going to hurt your credit, and there's nothing you can do about it because you just had that credit line shut down. What does this mean? What is going to happen next? What can you do? That's what we're going to talk about this from a strategic hustler's perspective on how you can position yourself to win, but also just be aware of what's going on to protect your family. Subscribe to the page, like the channel. I am your platform partner, your hustling homie Jackson, all about helping you take action. And today is a beautiful day, even with all of the transition that we're seeing, even in the midst of a crisis. Guess what? A storm eventually will let up, and then you will have a new day. You will have rain. It will be a cleansing. So you got to prepare yourself for the cleansing that is already in play and that is happening. Listen, people have figured it out all across the United States. What did they figure out, Jackson? They figured out that it's easier to live off of government assistance and be unemployed than it is to go to work every single day. You see, there's more people now, more than ever. I mean, you had literally over 40 million jobs that are people are unemployed. Or 40 million people are unemployed. This is the highest rate of people being unemployed, people that are getting government assistance and still not paying rent. There's never been this type of tsunami of events that are adding up all at one time. On top of that, we also got massive student loan debt that's happening. What are people going to do about the student loan debt once that bubble pops and it's time to start paying those back? Once it start time to pay back these rents, what are landlords are going to do? What are small business owners going to do when they can't afford to pay the taxes and when they just can't continue to be able to handle the change that the government and the powers that be are implementing? So what we're seeing right now, Wells Fargo told his customers, listen, get out my house. They say you got to go. I mean, look, banks are the biggest pimps on the planet. All right. Because the bank understands that when a hoe is not performing, they let her go. All right. And so right now, what they understand is that having all of these personal lines of credit is a liability. People aren't paying rents, right? People aren't making money. People getting money from the government. They understand that they do not want to be out there with that product and that instrument. Okay. Now, this is also an opportunity, though. Okay. For some, this is going to be a huge opportunity because what's also going to happen is eventually we're going to see banks going out of business, smaller banks, and you're going to see larger banks buying them up. We're going to see what they call like a consolidation of banks. This is when the bigger banks, you say big bank take little bank. That's what we're about to see. Now, how is this an opportunity for you? Well, one way is an opportunity for the savvy hustler that knows how to pool money in cash. Put your cash to the side, put your money to the side, find some other people who also put in money to the side. You guys come together, get yourself some cash. Okay. If you can get a couple 100,000, if you can get yourself, even if you can get $1 million, you're a super goon in these streets. You get that. And then what you can do, you get you some relationships with these asset managers when these banks go out of business. And when you have cash and the banks are going out of business, you can then negotiate to buy the notes at the banks. And that's where you want to be. You want to be in a position where you can buy up notes at the bank. What does that mean, buying a bank note? We're talking about banks. They make money by lending people money, right? Mortgages. So a lot of people aren't paying their mortgages. It's called a non-performing asset to a bank. See, a mortgage is the asset. So if people aren't paying their rents, and now the bank is saying, you know what, we've been trying to collect on it. We really can't even foreclose because the house may not even necessarily be worth what we're foreclosing for. Plus the bank's going out of business. So this may be an opportunity for people with cash to be able to buy up banknotes, meaning they can buy bundles of mortgages. So now you become the bank. So that means now you can be able to get access to own the rights to properties just by buying those banknotes. I know one guy. This man had about $1 million. He went to a small bank and he bought over 300 mortgages for $1 million. And out of those 300 mortgages, I mean, he was buying them pennies on the dollar. He had all type of property that were worth. One property was worth 300,000. Other property was worth 400,000. I mean, it's a great opportunity because now you're getting stuff at a discount. So that's an opportunity for those who really know how to pool their money, for people that are savvy. Maybe you got some crypto investments, you got the right investments, like whether it be an XRP, XDC, or anything that's a really valuable currency, Flare network, things like that. And you've positioned yourself to really get the large money. All right. The multi-millions on top of millions. Those are the people that are strategic and smart that can position themselves to take advantage when these banks go out of business. But we're seeing, I'm not saying Wells Fargo's going out of business, but we're definitely seeing their behavior is showing that things are definitely not right. What do you think is going on? Why do you think they're closing their accounts? All right. How do you think this is going to impact the economy? Regardless, trouble is here. Okay. It's absolutely here. I want to know, what do you think from this? We also have to understand that the hammer's coming down. We've been telling people that there's food shortages, resource shortages, and this stuff is not really hard to believe. We're going to see gas prices go up. We're going to see lack of food on the shelves, mainly because a lot of people aren't working. And when you don't have truck drivers working because they'd rather be unemployed, you're going to have the supply chain thrown off. So now you don't have the trucks delivering enough fuel, or delivering enough food or resources. And so this is a trickle down effect, and the entire economy is going to feel it. And we're going to feel it in our kitchens. We're going to feel it in our stomachs. We're going to feel it in our bones. And we just got to be prepared for it. I'm not saying this is something scary, but this is just something to be prepared for. All right. With God having your back, it's nothing you can't overcome, but you got to prepare yourself spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. But don't forget socially, because you need to have a team more than ever right now. All right. A team of people that's understanding that they're going to pool money. They got good, not only credit, but credibility and integrity. All right. So right now, more than ever, you got to trust yourself. You got to secure your future, and understand this is an exciting time to accumulate things like cryptocurrencies right now. But it has to be the right coins. It has to be the right good solid projects, and I'll talk about that other in videos. Not just any cryptos, but you got to get the ones that where the whales and the big money's putting their money. Again, these are like the XRPs, the XDCs, the XLMs, things like that. Okay, where there's large liquidity, huge partnerships. Okay, but we'll talk about that part in more videos. But also, I talked about the student loan debt is increasing higher than ever right now. And so with that happening, the question is, we got president is attempting to extend the memorandum. I keep saying, I always pronounce it wrong. It's not memorandum. It's moratorium, where people don't have to pay. But the more that they extend that, eventually that bill will be due. Remember, student loans are something that you cannot charge off. You cannot write off. They will stay with you forever, and they just add up more and more and more. So you got to position yourself to be able to knock this stuff out. And the only way you can do this and not be a slave forever is going to be by really getting wealthy and becoming asset rich with the right assets that are producing cash flow and also give you tax advantages. We will talk more about that in other videos. But that being said, I just want to share this real quick with you. What do you think about what's going on with what's going to happen next? And look, Wells Fargo cutting off personal lines of credit. Please understand that this is not new. Okay, this stuff has been done before. All right. Okay, so they say credit lines anywhere from $3,000 to $100,000 have been they got about 60 days, and these things are shutting down, and it's going to impact their credit. So imagine all the folks that have small businesses using the money for that. People that have money for their real estate. And now they don't have access to it. What we are seeing, in my opinion, is the powers that be are attempting to gain as much power as possible because they know it's in the future it will be difficult for them to maintain the power. You see, 10 to 20 years from now, the people will have the power. 30 years from now, the power will be people, because technology is going to allow people to become more independent and not need as much regulation. However, and before we get to that point where there's freedom, the powers that be are attempting through this financial reset to gain as much power as possible with technology. Okay, so I believe that what is happening is they're attempting to squeeze out small business owners. They're attempting to squeeze out landlords. They're attempting to squeeze out the middle class. Why? Because why would they want for people to not work but still give people checks, right? And then cut off their credit lines? Because they want people to be dependent on the government stimulus. Because when you're dependent on the government, they then can track everything that you do. They can regulate and control what you do, because they're pretty much your mama, your daddy, your greasy grandmammy. And that is the way the cookie is crumbling right now. So we have to be independent minded, savvy, strategic, because they definitely are. But what's interesting about it is the way that they're presenting these changes, meaning they're putting people out of business and trying to take properties from landlords. The way that they're doing it is they're almost making it seem as if it's for our own good. That's where the trick comes in at. That's where you gotta be careful. Don't be sorry. You gotta be somebody. And I believe you are somebody. That's why I'm sharing this with you. So with that being said, I want you to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Okay, secure your future. Make sure you enroll in the cryptocurrency classes, courses, get the books, support the channel with the Cash App below. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.